This episode is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Today's patron of the day is Jane Hayer. I hope I said that right, Jane. Patrons get the show always ad-free and access to the extended episode with bonus content. If you don't want to miss all that good stuff, go to patreon.com/calltheline. That's patreon.com/calltheline. Go check out the Patreon. It's so fun. We answer fun questions. The after shows are a blast.
And I always tell the story about why my partner and I call each other Katus. So.
Yeah, it's so great. It's so great. You'll love it.
Do it.
Woo! Welcome to the Line Has a Podcast. I'm Melissa.
So I'm Promise.
And I'm Arden.
We're all together.
We're all together. The girls are together. It's March 24th. And I'm so excited that we're doing this all together.
Is it the 24th?
It is. It is Monday. No. It's Monday morning.
It's super early Monday.
I know. 23rd. You'll get used to it. Don't worry. It's just that we're up so early.
Yeah.
Think away.
Don't worry.
Okay.
This is
notoriously a morning person over here.
Yeah. I've always said that. How are we doing today, guys? Actually,
I'm just excited.
Girls. I can actually say
it really is like
girls.
The girl time. I'm just excited we're all hanging out. There are
It'll be so fun.
Tornado watches happening outside my window. That's exciting. So to the audience, if suddenly I am not part of the rest of the episode, it's because I had to go hide in a closet or something. But that's how dedicated us at the Line here are to this show. It's really important, obviously. Also, I really just wanted to talk to Alyssa and Arden and hang out.
Yeah, girl. You sent a very cute text in the group chat that I will be putting on my story after this,
Aww.
which is, in my heart, we're all just teen girls getting ready to meet up for mall day. And that is like, I love. Because the mall doesn't hit the same as it did when you were a teen.
No.
You know?
Now it's stressful to me. I don't like it.
It's very stressful.
If I was like 16 or even maybe a little bit, maybe 15 is the perfect time. And it's like meeting up with my girlfriends at the mall and we're going to go get frappuccinos that are absolutely disgusting and not even really drink the whole thing, but just be excited about it and like go buy like one pair of underwear from Victoria's Secret so you can get the bag, you know?
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, look at me.
That's really cute.
So crazy and wild. But yeah.
Now I just want a soft
on that
pretzel.
Note. Yeah. Auntie
Ooh,
Anne's.
Auntie Anne's? Yes.
Anne's.
Look at us. We should have been mall friends, you guys.
We should have been. Fuck a Wetzel's Pretzels. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Auntie Anne's or bust.
The way we just united on that was so beautiful.
Instantly.
I kind of want to cry a little.
Well,
That
just
was
the
beautiful.
smell, like, it's just so
Wait, are you guys-
Real.
Are you cinnamon sugar people or cheese dip people?
cheese dip.
Oh, see, honey, I want like some sort of mustardy dip. Like it's gotta be tangy.
A little
Yeah.
zest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I'm on.
Are you a cinnamon sugar?
No.
Okay, great.
Oh my god.
There
Absolutely
are
not.
certain people that are cinnamon sugar people. Those also a lot of times are the people that like purple or yellow, and it's just like, do you know what I'm talking about? And they remind me of a Thursday. It's like that is.
and their favorite month, November, inexplicably.
Yes, you get it.
Whoa, listen. November's my birthday month, okay? So enough of this
The
slander.
slant.
That's not your fault, Arden. That's not your fault.
Thursday, November, and purple are the same.
I feel like liking purple is a slur now. That's what I got out of
I
that whole
like
comment.
I like purple, and I like
Are
Thursdays,
you a
and
purple?
I like November.
Am I with two purple girls?
I like purple. I'm not against purple. Sweating my ass off.
Okay,
Oh my
I'll
God.
try to forgive it. On that note, speaking of being younger and all of that, our question of the day, the other day, is Gen Z heading towards more conservative and traditional values? And some of the comments we got from you guys, somebody says, Gen Z speaking, conservatives are the definition of cringe to me. And then someone said, I'm genuinely afraid of Gen Z being more conservative than millennials. I don't know if it has to do with the way we've been raised, but I can definitely see the fear of judgment and trying to be more into our particular aesthetic leading to that conservative pathway. I think that even more so than us millennials, Gen Z very much grew up on social media and most definitely has the baggage that comes with the constant judgment of internet strangers. So, what is, Arden, I guess let's start with you because Alyssa and I kind of touched on it. But what do you, like, sorry, we didn't give you a lot of prep time, but what's your answer to that question?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard. So, like, this election has honestly been kind of a shock to me because I feel like whenever I've been like hearing from, like, I have some friends who are, working in the school system, either as like para educators or like as teachers or whatever. And the stories that I hear from them, I'm like, wow, like kids are getting so much more progressive and accepting. Like, they live in such a better world than the one I lived in, just like over a decade ago. And so like that's kind of where my perception was. But yeah, this election has clearly shown that Gen Z is not more progressive. And I hadn't really thought about it. You were saying like kind of like the social media influence. And that really makes sense since they're really like dominating that space so heavily. Like that's got to be, I mean, it seems like that's like the fastest path to like social media success is kind of like playing on some sort of like conservative fantasy or whatever. So yeah. It's really scary that it does seem like it's going that way, but I don't know. Is there like good data on this? I haven't read anything about this.
And I think when we were asking the question too, I wasn't even necessarily thinking conservative politically, although that oftentimes comes out of holding these more like conservative positions or traditional values and stuff, but more so I'm just noticing a lot more conservatism from even in just like, okay, we have to have everything curated and aesthetically right. And like, this is how a relationship should be. Like, it's less, I feel like millennials have reached the point where we're trying to be open-minded about all these things. And there's less, I'm seeing like less openness and more fear, which I think is at the core of so many conservative and quote traditional values, like how things play out, is there's a lot of fear behind it. And obviously that's where like trying to conserve things or trying to emulate like these safe, fundamentalist traditional things, and that comes from a lot of fear. And I do think there is data right on them being a more anxious generation
for sure.
And I think a lot of that does come from social media because like you said, that is a massive aspect of Gen Z's life. And so I'm just curious, like I do see that trend as far as just, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, not as culturally. I see them becoming more and more conservative culturally than millennials are, and that makes me really nervous about where it's headed politically. Alyssa, what do you think?
I think it's weird because when I'm trying to like suss out where Gen Z is, I'm doing it based on what I'm seeing on social media, and what I'm seeing on social media feels so like, obviously my For You pages and algorithms are curated to what I want to see, and so I'll see people who are progressive and like efforts being made towards a more progressive and open society and led by Gen Z oftentimes and whatever. And then another part of my algorithm is people responding to these horrific takes that Gen Z has that are just, I think you're right, Arden. I didn't even think about how it seems like, I think it was Arden who said this, that it's almost like having conservative values on social media as like a super like launch pad for people. And I didn't think about that because I think you're totally right. And I don't really know why that's the case. I mean, the fact that we had people like Nara Smith be as popular as she is, and like Ballerina Farm being as popular as she is, it's just interesting because it's, I don't know, there's like a little bit of, there's a corner of the internet for everyone. So it's, I don't know, it's hard for me to say like as a whole, anecdotally. I really would love to see what the data would suggest actually, because I don't know, it's hard for me to say. I feel like I see it all.
Yeah. It makes me nervous. I guess we'll see how it's going to actually start impacting us in the next round of elections, and can look at some more data then. Our new question of the day, Alyssa, do you want to share that with us?
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about Bernie and AOC doing these fighting the oligarchy rallies on this little tour that they're doing. And so our new question of the day is, do you believe that Bernie and AOC are starting a new movement? And I'd love to know your thoughts, because we've also had a lot of conversations about how there's not really a lot, there's not enough resistance for the Trump administration coming from the left. And so maybe this is going to be taking like a big step towards tangible resistance. So that's our question of the day. Do you think that this is going to start a new movement and actually get some kind of, like, for lack of a better term, like boots on the ground? I hate that term, though. What's a better way to say that? I don't want to say that.
Some momentum, I think.
Some momentum.
Like towards something. Like, please. Something
Literally anything.
Other than paddles and
real.
pink shirts.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's so that.
The paddles and the pink shirts was a level of resistance that you would see in a literal high school.
Honestly,
Yeah.
high schoolers would do it better.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because there'd be a little bit more, like, they were just sitting there, they're like, false. Excuse me? We're watching a fascist takeover, and you brought a wooden paddle with a little piece of paper over that says, false.
Do you want to know
That's
what
your
cracks me
fact-checking.
up? What Etsy account made those?
I literally was
That's what
wondering,
I wanna
where
know.
did they have these
For
things
real.
made? Like, who was
Literally.
like, we're going to order these paddles. And, like, where are you buying your pink shirt that you're going to wear?
Right. What Etsy account did they find and pay for express shipping to get those paddles in time? I've put more work this weekend into my sister's wedding than they did into creating a resistance in government. What are we doing?
For real. If it takes getting censured, like, was it Al Green, I think was his name, who got censured over him speaking up? Like,
Yeah.
do it. Like, they're gonna
Do
make
it.
you look
Everyone
bad no
should
matter
have
what
done
you
it.
do.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why not cause a ruckus? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fully agree.
Ugh.
Fully agree. Well, on that note, let's get to our first story, which is that Bernie Sanders and AOC have started a rally against oligarchy. Right off the bat, I just want to point out, I love that they're actually using the word oligarchy. But anyways, Sanders and AOC held rallies in Greeley and Denver, Colorado as part of their Fighting the Oligarchy tour. The events attracted over 45,000 people combined, with 11,000 in Greeley and an estimated 34,000 in Denver.
Crazy.
They focused on combating economic inequality, corporate influence, and Trump administration policies. They also talked a lot about the need for a $20 minimum wage. Yes, thank you, please. And Medicare for all. Both leaders called for increased taxes on billionaires and stronger environmental protections. All I want in life is for the Democratic Party to be convinced, because I don't know that we have hope for a third party, the Democratic Party to be convinced to run the next campaign on increasing the minimum wage, $20 would be great, and Medicare for all. Please, those are two things that everyone should be excited about. I just really hope that this is, and I know maybe this is delusional of me, but I really hope this is Bernie setting AOC up to run for president. What do you guys think?
I don't think there's a chance AOC runs for president, at least not in like 2028 is the next one?
Yeah.
Or I guess, or is that the midterms? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I don't think there's a chance she runs next
No,
time.
that would be it. That would be when she, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But I would love to see her run with somebody, or like if she runs, she'll have my vote, like no question. But I'm not hopeful.
Yeah. What about her and Tim Walz?
Oh.
A Walz AOC ticket has my vote so fast. And he said, whichever orientation they want to do that in, I'm happy. Like, my vote or my money.
Why do you or my money? Why do you feel like she wouldn't run, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so like people have been pressuring her to like run for Senate too, to like challenge Schumer and stuff. And I'm not even convinced that she seems like she has the fire to like go do that. But maybe that's because she's gearing up for doing like these rallies and trying to like start building like this movement towards a presidential race or something. But it just seems like I don't know. I'm just being cynical. I'm just trying to like not get my hopes up or anything. That could be a little bit of it.
Yeah. I wonder, I almost feel like she leans towards doing like not grassroots, but like she likes to be with her constituents and like with the people often
A
enough.
president for the people, of the people, by the people. That would be
yes.
nice.
Wouldn't that be nice? And so I wonder if like doing something like presidential race feels like it takes her too far away from like the actual like it like being with the actual people. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I think
But
it's
it would be
really
great.
I think it is delusional to hope for that. I think that's probably not what's happening or even what's possible. However, at this point, it's like we have a reality TV star rapist felon in office who is now basically handing over the keys to a billionaire weirdo. Sorry, that's like the best term I can come up for him. And
It's pretty
the
nice,
most
actually.
annoying
Yeah.
vice president of all times that I also want to talk about at some point in this episode because it's so funny to me how much we don't even talk about him because
Oh my God,
he's
I
just
know.
irrelevant and I wonder how much he hates that.
Mhm.
Anyways, so it's like if that's actually crazy. Like if you had told me 10 years ago that would be the vibe, I'd be like that's absolutely delusional. Like that's bizarre. So maybe we need something equally delusional to replace that. Like the pendulum will swing all the way in that direction. Because I would have said, I'm not sure how many years ago, but a certain amount of years ago, I would have said, oh, AOC can never and will never run because she was a bartender. Like that kind of ridiculous talking point. But nothing matters anymore, guys. Nothing, including democracy.
The wheels are
so-
off.
Exactly.
I could see her going like the Pete Buttigieg path where she like runs for president, not really expecting to win, but just kind of like building that clout. So like if she's, a Walls VP or maybe like a Secretary of State or something, it secures her, good positions for future roles like in the government. So I could see her running, I guess, maybe anyway, but not really to win.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
And it would be really interesting to see what would happen in any way that she would run because she has so much press. Like everyone knows who she is. It's like she would be for so many people who campaign, unless you're involved in politics, like she's sort of a pop culture figure now. And I feel like I would be so interested to see what that means for her and for people who are not politically involved as much as others. Knowing her name and kind of like having a gist of who she is and like how different that might be. I don't know. It would be really interesting.
Also, side note, how fun would it be to have somebody hot in the White House for the first time since Obama?
My God.
It would just be...
we haven't been horny
so
in the White
nice.
House in so long.
I know. Like,
Bring
please.
horniness back to the White House.
I'm
real.
here for it. I'm here for it.
I
mean, that's not the reason why, but
like, could you imagine
But
how great
also,
it would be?
yes.
Like people, like foreign diplomats come over to the White House for a meeting, pee-pee hard. Because it's just, that's great. Do you know how many things would get done?
Pee-pee hard.
Pee-pee hard. Things would get done. Things would get done. And
Oh my
everyone would
God.
be happy.
yeah. What was one of the comments we got on our last episode of just you and I? It was something. Speaking of, I have
Was
to
it
find
about
the exact
interrupting?
one. No, there was that too. But there was another thing that was commented, and
Scared.
where is it?
I know,
Where
I'm
is
like
it?
bracing myself.
No,
Oh
it's
God.
really good. It's actually great.
Was it nice?
Please, can I find it? Okay, I'm not even finding it now.
Do you want to go
It's
to an
good
ad?
in the
here it
worst
is.
way.
Here it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Okay.
The most polished episode yet, and virtually no talking over each other. Women get it done.
Women do get it done.
Here we are. Here we are, getting it done.
So good.
We still love you, Jemmy, because he's editing this. So.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, and
I
this
don't,
is
but
oh, except Arden.
The truth comes out.
This is probably a dumb question. Like, I probably know the answer. But if AOC did run for president in the next presidential election, assuming we get one of those, would you vote for her in the primaries, I guess is what I'm looking to say here.
I think so.
Would you vote for her as a candidate?
Well, I guess it would.
probably.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on.
Who else is running?
Yeah, but I would very strongly consider that her as an option. She's been like consistent since the day she came into came like onto the scene, and she's not perfect, but I don't know. And she's also from New York. We love. And yeah, I think she's been consistent and also outspoken every step of the way.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that would be...
She doesn't shy away from
No, and I
things.
think like what you said, Alyssa, like she knows how to get attention. And right now in like this world that we live in where everything's on social media, everything is about like how many views and clicks you can get. We need someone who knows how to command the media's attention.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it can't be, where Kamala Harris is like begging for interviews and like turning down Joe Rogan and just not really getting in front of enough people. Like we need someone like AOC who just effortlessly like captures their attention. I think that
100%.
really is important.
AOC would
I
go
agree.
on Joe Rogan and kill it. She would kill it. She would, the clips, the TikTok clips would be unmatched. Like, and that, you're right. That's so true.
Has
That's a
she
great
done
point.
Call Her Daddy yet?
No, and I'm shocked.
Oh, that would be good.
Shocking to me.
That would be a podcast an episode I would actually listen to.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about some of the latest, greatest choices that Trump has made, and then Elon Musk and his forks. Because
And his
that's
forks.
what he did this weekend.
No.
So embarrassing. Do you know how many times I watched that video, by the way, and I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
What
It was
is
the last
that?
thing I saw before I went to sleep the night before last.
Did you roll your eyes?
That's when I said, it's time for me to put my phone away and go to sleep.
Yep. You looked at it and you went, yep. Immediately on sleep
Done.
mode. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by the amazing people on patreon.com/calltheline, where you can get the show ad-free and you get the extended episodes where we do bonus shows, which is most of the time. Head over to patreon.com/calltheline and sign up today.
Would you like to be one of the cool people who can prove...
And we are back.
We're back.
This story just pisses me off. Trump revokes security clearances for Democratic rivals and critics. President Trump revoked security clearances for several prominent Democratic figures, including Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. The move also affects former officials and critics such as Joe Biden and his family members. Trump justified the decision by stating it was no longer in the national interest for these individuals to have access to classified information. It is just so weird that we're watching the bad guy just be a bad guy over and over and over again. Like, we keep saying this and we keep going back to the fact that there's no action being taken against it. But it's just the pettiest, dumbest, most, like, that's what you needed to get done this weekend? That was the
Right.
concern? It's wild. Can't stand him.
Yeah, I mean, it is just straight up like super villain, evil shit. And again, it does nothing to help like actual Americans, like Americans are out here begging for healthcare. Measles is ravaging Texas right now, right? There's been like 2 deaths from that, at least in Texas.
Awful.
Right. And nothing like we're not actually seeing action that helps like working class people. We're just seeing Trump take out his petty little vindictive attacks on his political enemies. I deeply understand why people are so disillusioned with our government and with voting and things like this. I don't want them to become complacent as a result of that. And I think that's what we do a lot, like here on the line.
Yeah.
I'm trying to combat, but I get it, really. I mean, like, just like you said, Promise, like nothing is being done. Everyone's just like, oops. Oh no, what are we going to do? Oopsie. Like, it's just very like childish reactions to everything.
Yeah,
100%.
I also don't really understand how he's able to make decisions like this on his own, and there are no, and I think I said this up in the episode last week too. I remember one of the first things I learned in school about the US government is that there are checks and balances. So nothing can ever be out of, and there have been many times in this Trump presidency and in his previous, presidency, that like where I've thought to myself, I'm like, and where is the check and balance for this? Because it's one thing if the if he has all of his people in every corner of the branches of government, and so like that fucks the checks and the balances. But the way that he's able to just like revoke people's security clearances and whatever without anyone being able to say, hey, actually, was this really a priority? Like, can no one keep him on task even?
Right. And I just looked it up, and with my little brief moment of looking into this, if true, this has never happened before. No sitting president has ever revoked security clearance from any past presidents or vice presidents. So we're also setting a new precedence for things that we don't do. We have not had reason to do. And I can think of other presidents where it would be like, okay, maybe that's why they did that, or that's why that president decided to do that to that president. This makes no fucking sense unless you're just the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
I hope that this is like, though, it's like they've injected like dye into like the veins of the American system, and we're seeing all the little holes and lesions everywhere. And like, this is what makes me hope that like an AOC or Walls takes over, because I'm like, we need someone who's going to be like, wow, we saw all those holes in the system. Now let's make sure we plug every fucking one so that when we have our next cycle, this kind of thing isn't even possible again. I'm not hopeful that anyone will get anything like that done, but that's kind of the dream. Like, oh, they're exposing all these problems. Let's do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That would be great.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Well, and it's frustrating because Trump gets to keep doing this, and he doesn't have to me, I like always relate this back to the theist callers when they just assert something and they don't have to provide any evidence or anything for it, and Trump can just throw out these things like, well, they don't need to have security clearance. I've decided that there's a reason they shouldn't have it. But then, okay, share that. Maybe we should know that information. Maybe somebody should know the information of why they shouldn't. No, nothing. Just straight up being a bad guy and being petty. It's interesting to me that he did not do that to Obama. Although I don't know if there's like an expiration on certain security clearances. I don't know how all of that works, but he hates Joe Biden so much.
He really does. Sleepy Joe.
Joe's just trying to take a little nap.
Like, he literally is just trying to nap.
Honestly, though, what does he think? Does he think that Joe Biden is like, I'm going to go use my security clearance to do anything now?
Joe Biden barely knows where he is. What are we doing? Leave him alone. He's fine.
And honestly, part of me is a bit freaked out that there aren't some grown-ups that maybe have security clearance to be, like, at least if Miss Harris still had her security clearance, it could be like, well, somebody knows some stuff that's going on. Mm-hmm. Nope, just gone. Just totally gone, which I guess that's the goal. I guess that's the whole point of that. But it's really, I don't know, I feel like we're watching some very weird crime episode play out, because remember, I don't know if you guys remember, the morning of the inauguration, the news broke that Biden had just pardoned his family. And to me, that's when I was like, this shit is real. Like, if you feel the need to do that as a president, that's pretty intense. And now I see, like, yep, and there's more things getting played out. Like, how far does this play out, and where does it go? I don't know. I have a feeling it will only get crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, let's move on. Oh, unless you have something else to add.
I did, and it left my brain. So
I'm sorry.
I am Sleepy Joe today, a little bit.
Well, fair enough. It's allowed. I was going to say, moving on to the really helpful Democrats. Yeah. Chuck Schumer rejects calls to step down as Senate Democratic leader. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has faced criticism from some Democrats for supporting a Republican-led spending bill to avert a government shutdown. Despite the backlash, he has stated he'll not step down from his leadership position, emphasizing that his decision was made to prevent greater harm from a shutdown. He argued that a government shutdown would have been significantly worse than the bill potentially allowing the administration to, quote, eviscerate the federal government. In response to Schumer's stance, progressive activists and some Democratic lawmakers have called for his resignation as Senate Democratic leader. AOC criticized Schumer's decision, suggesting it undermines efforts to oppose the Trump administration's agenda.
So I read this article, the one that we used as the source as an NBC article, and what he was describing was that under a shutdown, the executive branch would have sole power to determine what's essential. And so they can determine everything without court supervision. And so from his perspective, he felt like the Trump administration would wreck the federal government if they did shut down. And so I guess, I don't know.
Yeah,
that doesn't
sorry.
like not make sense to me. Like I see the vision.
I do too. And I was almost convinced by it for like a hot minute. But at the same time, one, Trump has already shown he's willing to completely ignore the courts. So the court's shutting down. Does that really hold a lot of water?
Yeah.
And then while I normally can't stand anything Hakeem Jeffries says, he feels the same as Kamala Harris, this like focus group tested like automation machine. Like he doesn't actually have any thoughts. He just has like a stream from some sort of like phrase generator that's been focus tested. It's awful. But one thing he said that was useful was he referenced back in like, I think it was 2013, after Obama got elected to his second term, there was a like 2-week shutdown over funding, primarily around like the Republicans wanted Medicaid cuts. And the Democrats held out. They were like, no, we're not going to give in. We're going to stall you out. And eventually they won. And they're like Republicans conceded a lot. And they were able to get like that funding package through. And I think what the American people want to see from the Democratic Party. Like, okay, you don't have a lot of power. But right now, if they want to get this through, they need at least 6 of our votes. Do not give them an inch until they make massive concessions. Show the American people that you do have power in the situation and you're willing to exert it. But Schumer didn't ask for anything in return. He just gave them exactly what they wanted. I think that's more of the objection. It's less of like, you have a point, but you're not getting anything out of it. You know, you are just giving them everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what's frustrating is, again, it just feels like over and over, we're watching Democrats just sit by. I mean, I keep saying this, but I keep going back to, I feel like this was just like a personal trauma for me at this point, sitting there on the couch watching the inauguration take place. But just like sitting there watching that, listening to that speech while Harris and Biden and Obama and all of them just sat there and just watched it happen and even politely clapped at different points. And at least Bernie sat there looking like the angriest, most annoyed, not entertained person ever. But it's just, it feels like that over and over and over again. Like they're just complying and going along with shit. And obviously that's what keeps us heading in this awful direction. So, not into it. Any other thoughts on that story before we head to the next?
No.
Cool.
No thoughts.
So, next one. More corruption. White House seeks corporate sponsorships for Easter egg roll. The White House is soliciting corporate sponsorships for the annual Easter egg roll, offering packages ranging from $75,000 to $200,000. Sponsors will receive branding opportunities, including logo placement on event signage and custom branded Easter baskets. This move has raised concerns among ethic experts who view it as a breach of long-standing norms separating public office from private gain. The funds raised will be managed by the White House Historical Association. Holy shit. So you're telling me that there's going to be little kids showing up, first of all, already problem, little kids showing up the White House to go visit Donald Trump on Easter with their Easter baskets. And what? It's going to say Walmart and Tesla. We already know Tesla will be one of these.
Oh, for sure. Which I love because like that's the marketing that a little child needs is for a car, for a vehicle that they won't even probably by the time that kid
it'll
is
be televised. So that's assuming what they're really going for.
Yeah, but for like a kid's event, like Tesla is so unaligned and doesn't make any sense. And like, what are we doing? And also, just yet another year and another event as part of our government where there's just a war on Christianity. It's just so tough.
Yes, this is the solution to celebrate Jesus' resurrection. Right. Easter egg rolling, and we're going to have corporations branding everything. That is so dystopian to me. Just if they really do this, which I guess they're going to, and everything's going to be branded.
Mm-hmm.
That's disgusting. That is unethical, and it is so just spooky. Like, that's what you think you would read about in some sci-fi book, like the presidential party that he held for children, where everything's branded, and like little Timmy gets a hat that. Okay, should we try to guess what some of these brands will be?
Wait, I just had a thought that the hat is gonna be like, it's gonna be like a collab. It's gonna be like Walmart x White House.
Make America Walmart again.
Literally. Oh my god.
Okay, I honestly do think Walmart could possibly be one. Do you guys have any guesses?
I was thinking, what is the company that makes all of the like ballistic missiles that everyone hates?
Oh my god. You're probably not wrong. Yeah. God, it's like not coming to my head, but I know
can't remember.
What you're talking about.
I'm sure people in the comments will remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
That's insane.
What about Tesla, of course. Maybe even Facebook. I don't know, but they probably won't. I guess they don't need to do that. I don't think Meta needs to do that. But what are some of the like kind of? Is My Pillow still a thing?
Oh my god! What? Because
I'm sure.
I don't know.
Now
My Pillow is an insane pull. I feel like it'll be banks. It'll be like Chase and like JP Morgan and like shit like that. It's gonna be like also $75,000 to $200,000 is nothing. That's not
okay. My Pillow is still totally a thing, so we might be seeing Easter
so probably
baskets
My Pillow.
My Pillow.
Yeah.
Mike Lindell. Yeah.
Could you imagine if it ends up being like the most like influencer-y sponsor? Because $75,000 to $200,000 is like way less than what people spend for like influencer, like big sponsorships.
Oh
for
my
influencers.
god!
It's like Tarte.
Yes, but what if we could get Jimmy? What if we got the Line to raise money to be one of the sponsors, and then the Line has a podcast, gets branding on everything, and then all of these right wingers are like looking up. I'm not. I'm joking, but then phenomenal. I'm like not really joking because that would be. Somebody needs to troll that.
That's a better influence on these kids, right? Than anything else.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to troll the situation and do that.
And it would be
like
great
a vibrator company or something.
Bellessa.
Bellessa needs to sponsor.
Yes. Amazing.
Oh, it's like Poppy. Poppy has a vending machine there. Oh my god. God, it's just so good. I love it. I love the idea of there being like one of those like skincare headbands, those like big huge skincare headbands, and then it's like White House Easter egg roll 2025.
Oh my god.
It's just so funny. Oh god, I can think about. I'm gonna be thinking about this all day.
It's really depressing. Yeah, like, maybe sound off in the comments which companies you think we might see on
which companies
the also, White House Easter egg roll.
Which one we'll realistically see, and which one is most hilarious to think about.
Yes,
because I love this idea.
Yeah. There are two different answers, I think.
I love this. I think that's so great. It's like Way, the shampoo and conditioner.
Also, yes, that would be amazing.
I just love it.
I wonder if Elon's gonna come out in like a Easter bunny outfit or something. Like I do feel like that would be on brand for him.
Yeah,
or like at least wearing like bunny ears and like going around with his kid and like being weird and then just like suddenly walking away from his kid. And
you know what we don't have in our outline today, but I feel like we need to talk about? How Elon Musk's daughter is on the cover of Teen Vogue.
Oh, yes. I love her so much. Yes, Vivian. She's so great.
She's amazing.
I want her on the podcast
amazing.
Very badly. Like, dream.
I don't even think that
guest.
that would be that hard because I don't think her following is like that massive right
I love that we measure. You and I are just like sitting here measuring everything in follower count because that's like, how we. Well, if I DM her, my DM will actually make it in there because of the following count.
You just never know. Well, you know, like I don't know.
I know.
I also would love to see her on the Line because I feel like she would be so fucking funny because she is like she's really witty. Not a single fuck to give. She doesn't care.
She's really.
And honestly, I respect it so hard. I love the trash that she talks. It's beautiful. Like, yes, give it to me.
It's so funny. There was first of all, I also love that she doesn't use Twitter. I'm not calling it X. She doesn't use Twitter. She uses Threads, which we'll see how long that lasts. I have a feeling like somehow she's going to mysteriously get kicked off of it. But she said something really funny. Wait, where is it? Replies, Threads, where the hell is it?
You're talking about yesterday?
Yeah, it was like recently. I thought I like...
While you're pulling that up, because this is just a side story that we can talk about at the same time, Elon Musk's silverware trick at the White House dinner has gone viral. An unverified video. How is it like, it's... Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, an unverified video shows Musk constructing a model with cutlery. A model of what? With cutlery at a White House dinner. He's doing the trick. Okay, do you guys know what I'm talking about? You take the fork and then you stack... I mean, I remember boys doing this at church... or after church at the Mexican restaurant after service, like with the forks, to be like, look how many I can hold. And they're like 12 years old. So that's what was happening. Musk was attending the video in his capacity as a senior advisor to former President Trump. He's literally sitting next to Trump. Trump's there talking to somebody. And Elon's just sitting there playing with forks.
It reminds me of like one time I went to a Chinese restaurant with my cousin Julia when she was 4, and she kept demanding mozzarella sticks, and she was 4, so she was slamming her little fists on the table and just going, cheese sticks, and we were
Precious.
like, we're in a Chinese restaurant.
Yes.
There's no fucking mozzarella cheese in here. It was giving that.
Not happening. Yeah.
It was giving that. Sorry.
No, I was literally gonna say something really similar where I was like, the response to it, calling it a model, I saw some of like the Twitter responses to it in one of the articles was like people being like, oh, boy genius. Like everyone treats him literally like how you treat a 4-year-old when they do anything that's not impressive. And you're like, wow,
so
sweetie,
right.
that's really cool. You're so smart. Like, no, it's so
100%.
embarrassing. You're a grown ass man. Stop playing with forks.
What are
And you're at like a professional... Look, I love to goof around and do dumb stuff at a table.
Sure.
But holy shit, just that imagery while everything else is going on. After they gave Kamala shit for her laugh, and now we have this dude sitting there playing with forks.
I know.
I don't. It's so cringy. Did you find what
I did. So Elon had tweeted in response to someone else, my son Xavier died. He was killed by the woke mind virus. Now the woke mind virus will die. Like, okay, Taken, relax. I don't believe he knows how to run his dishwasher. I don't think that you're gonna like kill the woke mind virus. Chill out. But Vivian screenshotted it, put it on Threads, and wrote, ew, gross. I'll deal with this nonsense in a bit, but for now, a simple ratio will suffice. So Elon's tweet had 629 comments, 488 retweets, 3K likes, and her tweet has 67.7 thousand likes, 2.7K comments, 1.8K thread, I don't know what the fuck, reposts, and then she responded to it and said, oh, that was quick.
Incredible.
And I just love it.
I love it. Shall we take a break before we come back for our closing thoughts? And then we've got the bonus show.
Oh, yeah. Let's
do it.
Oh, yeah.
Bonus show. We're going to do maybe
with
would
some
you
would you rather questions.
Fun.
That's going to be a fun time. Are we okay with like gross or like creepy would you rather questions?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but I think
a hesitant yes.
Great.
A little afraid.
I know. Gross and creepy. Would you fuck a ghost? I don't. Do people listen to this with their kids? I'm so sorry.
Hope not anymore.
I know. I need to chill out.
Never again.
Yikes.
No, we had a 30-minute conversation about Jimmy's ball sack.
Would you like to be one of the cool people who can prove they were supporting this podcast right from the beginning? Well, you can. Head over to linemerch.com. That's linemerch.com and pick up some founders merch for The Line Has a Podcast that will only be available for a short time and features the rough draft drawn logo that soon will be updated to look less like it was drawn by a 3-year-old. That's linemerch.com.
We We are back. I didn't know who was going to do that part, and then I just like freaked out, and I was like, I gotta say something. So if that sounded like I was scared that we're back, it's because I am, because I don't know.
The crazy part of it too
what
is
I'm saying next.
you didn't miss a beat. Like the sound ended and you immediately went, "We are back," and it sounded so calm and like you were
great.
just
Yeah, it sounded
ready.
really normal to me.
That's excellent. I should have just let it go at that, because inside I was like, ah. That's my cue. I don't know what to do when Jimmy's not in charge. I feel like it's like when I babysat for the first time at 12. Not saying I'm babysitting you guys. We're babysitting the podcast. But, you know,
Yes,
Jimmy
we are.
like,
The three
take
of
over
us
my
are
role. And
babysitting
then,
the podcast.
yeah, we are. And I just feel a little bit scared. Like, we don't know what we're doing. But the comments from last week
We're great.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
I also feel like I identify with the we're babysitting the podcast because similar to babysitting, I'm like, I'm not raising your kid. And so you asked me to feed them by 7 p.m. And if they ate, you're welcome. You know?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
that's sort of the vibe that I have here too, where I'm like, I'm actually fairly certain I've missed some music things and that I'm not doing it totally right. But first of all, haven't gotten yelled at yet. And also,
I think you're crushing it. I
I
really
honestly-
think you're crushing it.
This felt like ADHD stuff coming out right there. You're like,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten yelled at yet. And I'm like, oh, so relatable.
Aww.
oh my God.
Well,
We're too much.
we only have one news story left, and it was kind of one that I didn't even mean to put on the outline.
Oh.
Because I don't know. I mean, I guess it's interesting. Also, meanwhile, there's like a raging storm outside, and I'm pretty sure there's hail. But also, wait, this is like not, this isn't
old.
supposed to be on there. So, fun thing is that we just get to talk about whatever the hell
Well,
we
actually,
want to talk about now.
we also
Because we
could
covered
talk
the news,
about-
because we're so efficient, because we're so
we're
good at doing this,
so
because women get it done.
Yeah, we
Get
are.
it done.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Also, what we could talk about is Arden brought up how Disney was rejecting
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to
anti-DEI.
add. Yes.
So I when I was looking at all the things on the outline, I was like, I don't know if we have enough time. But then I did look at some of it, and it was their investors who. Okay, actually, I didn't even like explain what's happening. So investors were rejecting an anti-DEI proposal, which is pretty freaking cool and actually really unexpected for Disney. I feel like.
Yeah,
There's a-
Disney's been really like back and forth, honestly, over
Yeah.
the last like year. So, like in one of their recent Marvel shows, one of their characters had a big like trans rights or human rights flag on the back, but then they removed a scene about a trans character from a cartoon. So it's kind of like, it's hard to really know like where they're at sometimes on like all this
Yeah.
culture war stuff. But I
Yeah.
feel
Well-
like that's like definitely a good sign.
I think it's
Yeah.
a good sign,
Maybe.
but I do, my observations about Disney as a borderline Disney adult, I try not to completely categorize myself that way, but like having gone to Disney a couple of times last year.
If the Mickey ears
also,
fit, babe.
Listen, which ones? Because I got like, hold on.
What can you
I'm
do?
not even joking.
Oh my God.
Borderline Disney adult
Here's the
has
thing.
multiple pairs of Mickey ears.
Here's the thing.
They were so
about-
accessible to you, promise.
They were really accessible. They were very accessible. And
That's
I have more. But the
hilarious.
thing
They're
is,
very cute.
I'm not actually going to wear them, but they are, those ones light up with Bluetooth, like in the park, based off of what song is playing, so they're kind of
Oh
heavy, so I'm not going to keep
My
them on.
God.
What?
The
That's
thing
crazy.
is, what I think Disney does is they just play both sides of the culture war, and that's how
Yeah.
they do this. Because when we were there for around the holidays, I noticed they had literally like a manger scene and like come celebrate the Savior with us and different. I was like, oh, we're just
Yikes.
full on catering to, and the amount of people with MAGA hats and all that. So clearly they felt comfortable being at Disney and all of that. Then I've also been to Disney during Pride Month, where they have like, and still on merch, they have all the like rainbow options and everything. So I think they just play both sides, and that is clearly working for them. And honestly, I guess I'd rather them do that than only play the right side of
Yeah.
things, but
Like, I feel like in like an ideal multicultural like society, that's like the goal, right? Or like we
Sure.
can have you have your religious thing, we can have pride, and it's not a conflict.
Yeah.
It's just we live in these times where it's like these things are diametrically opposed. And so it's hard to like as a consumer, like I'm definitely not a Disney adult, but I love Disney stuff. I have a lot of nostalgia for Disney
You're like,
stuff.
I'm definitely not lame like you, but
No, listen.
Also.
So the Disney theme parks can be really cool, but yeah, no, it is. That sounds like it should be like an ideal. And okay, now this is kind of a little bit aside, but how do we feel? Have you guys seen the previews for the real life Lilo and Stitch? Because I have objections. I like it looks good, but
I have.
have you seen?
I
No.
simply heard about it and chose to not seek out
I think
any
I'm
of it because
scared.
it sounds like something that should never have happened. Like Lilo and Stitch is a cartoon and it should not. That's like if they did a live action SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like something should just
Yeah.
A little
not.
bit. Yeah.
It shouldn't. That I don't need to see what that would look like if it was actually part of real life.
Actually,
but tell me.
I think it looks really good, but
Okay.
my only thing I don't
I'm gonna
like
pull up
is
some of it.
you know how when Pleakley and is it Jumba were like in their costumes, like they're
Okay.
very obviously don't look
not
like people.
not
Yeah.
a Disney adult, and here you are knowing more than me.
You say
Listen.
Pleakley?
Pleakley, I think that's his name, right? The guy with one eye. And
I
like, the
don't.
little
I don't
antenna
know.
thing.
I'm not actually a Disney adult. Just
Oh,
borderline.
so
So
you
funny.
totally know, and you're just pretending not to be uncooperative.
This is. I'm
Hey,
leaving you
listen.
here.
In the movie, they like dress up, and they don't look like people, but they like wear like bad wigs and stuff. And Pleakley always dresses as a woman the entire time, like always in full drag.
Yep.
And in this one, they have some like weird alien technology that makes them look like normal people, and they totally straight washed it. Like Pleakley is
No!
like a boring ass straight man.
And that was the fun part about that character. My chair is.
Yeah. I will admit it looks pretty good aside from that. That is my only thing I don't like. They've totally straight washed Pleakley. But aside from that, it actually looks really good. I'm not going to lie.
The Stitch character looks really cute.
Adorable.
Really cute. And that's what I was like, how are they going to do Stitch?
Lilo's
And-
pretty cute too.
The girl playing Lilo
Oh, wait.
looks so cute in the
She's pretty
previews.
adorable. Yep.
Yeah. She is super
Oh
cute.
God, that is not one of the real Stitches, but somebody else made that one. And
I
it's
know the one you're
terrifying.
looking at.
Yeah, it's not good. I wish I. Yeah, it's not
Oh, God.
good.
That looks like a gremlin. Oh my
Yeah, it
God.
does.
Yeah,
That's really scary. No, the actual one is really stinking cute. Okay.
Yeah, I was just a little salty over Pleakley. I'm like, I was really looking
Yeah.
forward to like the Cyclops and drag moment. I don't know why we had to straight wash him to look like a boring ass straight
Yeah.
man, but okay.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
Okay,
Anyway.
here's a really important question for you guys. Speaking of Disney, if Donald Trump was one of the Disney villains, which one closest?
Ursula.
Like, which one's comes closest to representing him?
didn't even
no
need
hesitation.
a second of time.
Ursula. I mean, I think that's giving him too much credit. I'm trying to think. Like, let's get a list of Disney villains.
Is there like a money hungry Disney villain? That's what I'm thinking. Like they're like a capitalist Disney villain.
Did you guys watch VeggieTales growing up?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, so then you
I
know
did
the
not.
bunny episode, which was fully teaching us to basically not vote for people like Donald Trump, and then we did it anyway.
Yeah, 100%. There's a million examples of things like that, though, like how hypocritical evangelicals'
Yep.
stated values and who they vote for are. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, here's some lists of them. So we've got obviously Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook,
Okay, wait.
Lady Tremaine.
There's a list of the 10 greediest Disney villains.
Oh.
First
Okay.
one, Clayton from Tarzan. This is the one who wanted to enslave
Oh, that
all
makes
of the
sense.
gorillas.
Also, Governor Radcliffe from freaking Pocahontas. That's got to be on there, right?
Okay.
He has a song called Gold and It's Mine or something
Yeah.
like that. So
Okay.
Right, right.
Mother Gothel from Rapunzel is number 9.
Yes.
Governor Ratcliffe from
Okay,
Pocahontas is number 8.
Okay.
Number
Yep.
7, Dr. Facilier, I think. Princess and the Frog.
Oh,
right.
yeah. I love that
Number
movie.
7, Ratigan from Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, I forgot about that movie. Wasn't that song like, oh, Ratigan, oh, Ratigan, dun, 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 dun. I mean, I was stuck in my head now.
I don't know, but I
I'm
would
the
love
only
if
one.
you sang
Okay,
the
great.
whole thing from beginning to end.
I'm not going to
Um,
do that, but get it? Rat again? Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Jafar from Aladdin. who
Oh yeah.
that's a good one. Because he was greedy for more power.
I have to tell you guys, pause real quick. My friend, she is, let me pull up what her thing is. Christina Hart, Hart. She's a comedian, hilarious, worth following. But she tweeted the other day, or on Thread, she posted, and I was laughing out loud, that something about how she's going to start a podcast like Gavin Newsom. She's like, and my next guest will be Jafar. Just talking about like having, like, let's just have Disney villains on now. Like,
Right, at this point.
That's so good.
Oh my god.
Jafar is a really good one in character, but also Jafar is like low-key kind of hot. And
I know, I was about to say there's like some sex appeal there.
Yeah, agreed.
Mostly the vibe, but
Yeah.
way more than.
Maybe in the bonus show we'll talk about which Disney villain we would most like to. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's
Honestly,
a great idea.
might still be Ursula for me. When Ursula is the hot version of herself too, like when she's like,
Oh, you're not lying. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
every day of my life I have affirming moments of my bisexuality, and that's one of them.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I
That's, like,
did
a
not
very
notice
good
that
one.
until today.
we were like, I would totally get into bed with Ursula.
100% Prince Eric, absolutely not. Ursula, hot girl Ursula.
I don't know. I would be
Yeah.
okay with either of them, I think.
I
so.
know. I'm like, why not both?
Right.
Why
Why
Yeah,
not? Why
yeah.
not?
Well,
say that,
and,
no.
and that is the spirit of bisexuality. It's
Yep.
Why not? Why not both? Okay, number 4, John Silver, jock-eyed
What?
for treasure. I don't know. Oh, John Silver, jock-eyed for treasure from Treasure Planet. I don't remember Treasure
Oh.
Planet.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, this is a good one. Hopper from A Bug's Life.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Okay, but also kind of
Oh.
semi-hot vibes.
Kind of giving hot vibes, except I think he has a
Who
weird
played his
eye.
voice?
No, A Bug's Life.
I do not discriminate against weird eyes. Sometimes
Bug's
that's
He
really
does.
hot.
Flick in A Bug's Life has come up in my friends' conversations about animated characters that we think are hot every single time.
Flick?
Flick?
I'm not getting that one.
Honestly,
Wait, okay,
though-
who plays? Oh God, Kevin Spacey plays Hopper's voice. I take
Oh,
back
yeah.
everything I
Oh, wait,
said.
never mind. But
Ugh.
isn't the whole premise that he's like kind of like a capitalist mob boss where he's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
That's actually a good
so
one.
That actually
Do you
totally
know
works.
my thoughts every time you say one of these though is like, that's too smart to be
Yeah,
compared to.
that's true.
That's sad. The fact that a Disney villain seems a little bit too
Mm-hmm.
intellectual to be compared to the president of the United States right now.
Oh, wait. Okay, so Hans from Frozen, because he ends up wanting
Also hot
to...
vibes. Sorry.
I know. But he tries to
Disney's
take
so
the kingdom.
good at making villains.
I know.
Maleficent.
Or we're all
Maleficent.
really damaged, and
Right?
for some reason,
Yeah.
like, these people are
Everyone's
we're like,
listening.
"Ooh."
Everyone
the answer,
listening is
Arden.
like, what are they talking about?
No, because why was I attracted to Mufasa? The fuck?
I mean, why wouldn't
For
you
a
be?
variety of reasons.
Honestly, I get it
Honestly,
though.
That voice.
Also-
It makes sense.
James Earl
Hades
Jones?
from Hercules could get it.
yeah.
Could get
Yeah.
it. Okay, so the number
Also,
one,
Megara. Wow.
I was
yeah,
just gonna say,
literally, wow, wow. Her
Jimmy's
wrist and
gonna be like
This
listening to the
gaggle of
podcast while he's
bisection.
and he's like, they did such a good job. Wow, they did all the news story. What the fuck is this
I know.
conversation? Or he'll be sad that he missed out on it, and he's gonna tell us why all of us are wrong, and
Yeah.
the hottest one is this, and
Yeah.
the most like Trump is this one, and it's something none of us thought of, and he's probably right. So
I feel like Gaston should be somewhere on here. He's not.
Gaston is the you know what? Gaston is the one that everyone thinks is hot that I fucking
He's not.
hate.
No,
so much.
yes. Oh my god, this. I don't know what this like bisexual like synergy we have going on,
yes.
but it's wonderful.
I can't stand. Meanwhile, if I'm moving funny, it's because I'm trying to grab this thing I dropped.
It's an attitude
Yeah.
thing. I'm like,
It is.
no,
Yeah,
you're just like a
absolutely
fake
not.
bro, and I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Gaston also is like there's
Also,
a certain
I think
like
Gaston's gay, but anyways.
yeah, could be. I'm
He's
not
a little fruity.
He is a little fruity. I also there's a certain like level of like masculinity that's like really unattractive to me, and that's what Gaston has. Where I'm like, okay, like you just like go to the gym and like that's so fun for you. Like what are we talking about? Like I don't
No, I get it.
It's just like I just look at someone like Gaston and I'm like we would have nothing to talk about. You
Yep.
know?
100%.
Well,
And
which is
so-
basically what Belle
Yeah.
She never liked him, right?
No,
'Cause
she
I
never
feel
liked
No.
him.
I feel
She
like
was
a lot
I'm
of the stories
trying
the
to
princess
read.
kind of fell. Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, and she's like, you can't read, and I'm trying to read.
I'd
Can
rather
you
be
just-
with an animal than with you. Is
Literally,
essentially what
how
she
about
ended up
I'm gonna
saying.
I'm gonna go be with a literal animal. You figure out how to breathe through your nose, and then maybe we'll circle back later after this.
So harsh.
Oh my
so
God.
harsh.
He gives mouth breather in such a significant way. He really does.
While we're on this topic, I know this isn't Disney, but if we're talking bisexual, like character hotness levels, Dimitri from Anastasia.
The
Why do I
way
not
that
Do you
remember?
not know?
Arden,
I had
please
this
Google.
Barbie doll.
Oh God, he's so hot. Oh no, a Dimitri Barbie doll would not have
I still
made
have
it
that
out
Barbie
of my
doll,
childhood. There's
actually.
no way. There's
Please look
no
up a
way.
picture.
It would
Arden.
not survive.
Wait.
Anastasia.
Okay, he does have very nice hair,
Oof.
like the swoopy
Oh,
hair. I
and he
can
would
see
always
it.
do this thing, and then it would just like,
Yeah, where he's
oh,
like-
and then he always pushed his sleeves
Ugh.
up. You know what I'm talking about? Like the quarter length
Yeah,
sleeve thing where you push it,
please.
and a vest, and just like,
Please.
and the eyebrows, the like bushy eyebrow thing with like,
He gave like if they were gonna do a live action Anastasia, it would have to be early 2000s Jared Padalecki to play Dimitri. It was exactly the same vibes. Like,
please.
Fuck out of here.
God.
I literally,
That's
when I Googled, all of
crazy.
these are just like him smoldering and
Yes.
like, pretty, like sex eyes. It's really
But
good.
also Meg Ryan as Anastasia, it was just like, who am I more
Yeah.
obsessed with? And they kind of look alike in a also kind of maybe creepy way, but let's not think about it too much. But like, let me pull up this picture of them. I mean,
They're a hot couple.
I would like to hang out with them. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I would like to hang
Gorgeous.
out between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right?
Exactly.
Being
There's
essence
space
of
right
being
there.
bisexual.
I mean, look at them both smoldering, you guys. Like,
Gorgeous.
also look at my screen. That's so bad.
The essence of being
Um,
bisexual is being attracted to both Anastasia and Dimitri.
Yeah, I think that captures it really, really well.
I think so.
Well, on that note, should we head over to our bonus show where we can discuss this
Yeah.
and more?
Yeah, and
And I'll tell the
play
story
game.
about why I call my husband Cadus.
Yeah, we've
Finally.
been meaning to do that, so we could definitely do that. Wow, their little
We did it, guys.
this.
We did the show.
meant
Oh,
so
yes,
much
please.
to me as a kid.
Everyone, that's your homework assignment from this episode of The Line Has a Podcast, is to check out the Patreon for the bonus show, but also go Google a picture of Anastasia and Dimitri, because
Okay,
it's worth
yeah,
it.
and also like give us your cartoon crushes. I want to know.
Yes.
Same.
Yeah, I love when people give cartoon crushes. And miss me with the Danny Phantom shit. We all know Danny Phantom was hot. Give me the real ones. Tell me which character in Cars was the sexiest to you.
Obviously, Sally.